Hey, good Friday morning, everybody, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. Slight breeze, very low tide, but calm seas, as you can see here in the Eastern Pacific. And we have got a lot to talk to you about. First and foremost, I want to thank the great crew on the El Patron out of Long Beach Sport Fishing for providing the Friedman Adventures family with a spectacular day's fishing and memories for a lifetime. All of you folks who showed up for our trip yesterday, man, I can't thank you enough. What a great group of people. One gentleman drove all the way from Arizona to be on that trip, and the fishing was phenomenal. But more than that, the camaraderie on board that rig yesterday was fantastic. With the crew, with all the great people who came out, we had a ball. Pristine, gorgeous, flat, calm seas, giant rockfish. I'll get into more of that in a moment. We've got to talk bluefin tuna because they are very close to Point Loma right now. 50 miles or so is all you have to travel to find those big bluefin tuna. Did they bite last night? We'll have word on that. Also, Ensenada, big bluefin tuna tournament this weekend. How's that shaping up? There's a lot of bluefin tuna nearby, but are they biting in the daytime? We'll check on that. Also, we'll have the surf fishing and how that's been going on. The Redondo Beach Rod and Gun Club has announced a great derby that they're going to hold for a week this time. And they are great folks, and I know you're going to enjoy that. The Apollo, brand new engine room, everything redone and beautiful. And they run their first trip, had some yellows and some halibut. San Clemente Island looking pretty good. Channel Island white sea bass. Where are those sea bass? Are they going to bite today? We've got that and so much more. You know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. So good and so good to be with each and every one of you. Every time I go out on one of our charters, one of the Friedman Adventures trips, I'll tell you, the people who are supporting this venture, our YouTube channel and everything else we do, I just don't have the words to say thank you. It was so great spending time with all of you yesterday, and you know who I'm talking about. And I'll tell you, Chris, he did such a great job as the captain of the vessel, putting us on these giant, Jurassic Park looking rockfish. Sean on deck. Sean, you were awesome. And man, were we blessed or what? We had Scott Buchert in the galley, and Scott, you did a great job. It was so much fun. That taking you home last night, that pushed my patience a little bit. But other than that, it was great. And you know, I'm kidding. We had such a great time indeed. Boy, we've got to talk about a lot, and let's go south the border. We'll take you to Ensenada right now. While you hit that like button, share these videos, and make sure you follow us here. Subscribe on the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel in Ensenada. They've got a big bluefin tuna tournament going on, and I'm just praying the light switch will go on for a daytime bite on the bluefin tuna because it is just non-existent. Those bluefin do not want to bite in the daytime, and they're right outside of Ensenada. I mean, they couldn't be in a better place. So hopefully, as I say, the light switch will come on for the folks in Ensenada because this is a big tournament for them. And I've got a lot of dear friends who are pongueros, and I just want them to do really well on this, and including our friend Paulina and Botes Juanitos. Not only friend Paulina, but Paulina is my great co-host when I'm in Mexico. She does such a great job, and we send her all our very best and hope that she and her mom and her aunt have a really great time. Speaking of Mexico, while I'm on this subject, and I'll get into what's going on in the local scene, but it is Dia de las Madres in Mexico. It's Mother's Day on the 10th of May. That's when Mother's Day is celebrated in Mexico. So all our love goes out to the great moms there in Mexico Lindo. We send you all our love and very best. Inside of Ensenada, a lot of guys stayed in there yesterday because outside it was a little bit breezy. So they were looking for the yellowtail, and those yellows just did not manifest themselves. And it's been a while since we've seen a really consistent good yellowtail bite inside the bay. At one time, it was really good inside there. Right now, it is mostly big bonita. And if you want, you can catch some really nice calico bass. Joe Sarmiento, he was out yesterday, looked for the yellows, could not get a bite on it, went to Todos Santos Island and picked off some really nice calico bass. Joe, nice going down there. So again, blackfin sport fishing and many of the other guys that I know down in that neck of the woods catching some really nice big bonita, hoping for some more yellowtail inside the bay. Just hasn't happened yet. And more than anything, fingers crossed that bluefin will bite in the daytime. We need that stuff to start chewing. Don't forget, you can also follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Hopefully that's going to get on the bite here really, really soon. We continue to monitor it for you very, very closely. All right, let's talk San Diego bluefin tuna, because there are some big fish wandering around right now. You can still catch fish in that 20 to 60 pound range, but there's been a lot of this 100 to 200 pound fish running around. Paul Rubio is a guy that jogs up and down the beach here all the time, and he'll stop right there, 1 foot in front of the camera, jog in place to get the morning briefing live. He was on the Independence, and Paul ended up with a 200-pound beautiful bluefin tuna. Paul, way to go. Now, they had to be in this morning at 5:30, so they were in the 50-mile zone on board the Independence last night, and they stayed till about 11:30 at night, and then they had to hightail it for San Diego and point their bow toward Point Loma to get in. No bite before then, but after that, unfortunately for those guys, the bite was pretty good for several boats. After midnight, that bluefin started to chew. It was a lot of that big fish, several long-range guys. There's a lot of boats on it because it is so close to home now. And even private boaters that I talked to had some really good nighttime fishing. So that is great news as that fish continues to bite. It's not for everybody. Not everybody gets a hit on it, but a really good chunk of the boats had some pretty good fishing. I want to say from 5 to 40 fish, something like that, in that range. Some guys missed entirely, and a lot of it big stuff. So remember, you want to tackle up with 200-pound leader material. I like 130-pound spectrum, but 100 should do you just fine. And remember, when the captain says drop, you drop immediately. And if you listen to Sam De La Torre at Island Fishing Tackle, he'll tell you to drop 100 feet down below where the captain is talking about. I see the fish at 325. Sam says drop to 425, and then you're assured to come back up through the fish, because sometimes your line scopes out away from the boat and you're looking at it and you think you're down to 300 feet, but you're really at 225 or something like that. So again, Sam likes that 100 feet more, and then you come up to the fish, and you're not going to come all the way back up to the surface. You're just going to come up to where that captain told you he saw the fish. Buenos dias, hermano. And then you're going to drop back down again. Valentino working hard down here in Surfside, California. So the daytime bite, non-existent. I mean, I think the whole fleet, I don't know if anybody caught a bluefin tuna in the daytime. So that's when you want to be napping and catching up on your beauty rest. God knows I need that. And then nighttime is when you're going to have to be Johnny on the spot. You're going to have to be ready to go and ready to rock and roll, which screws me all up because I like to get up early and go to bed early. But hey, I'll be out there next week with my friend Brian Wynn on board the Cortez as we're leaving Monday evening. And Brian and I are going to put together some great instructional videos for you. And I'll have a lot of the action and the great folks on board. John Garma, I know, is there, and several other guys. It should be a lot of fun. So bluefin tuna, non-existent in the daytime, and many guys getting in on some pretty good fishing last night, and just about every single night. Fish at 50 miles. There's also a dab of fish up there at 30 miles south of the point, but that 50-mile fish seems to be biting better, and it seems like we're getting little pockets of this stuff popping up here and there. Down there at 120 miles out in some deep water, there is still fish down there around Colinet, Punta Colinet, west of there. So we got a lot of bluefin tuna around. Needed to settle and bite with a little bit greater consistency, and we could use a few more numbers, but some of these fish have been beautiful fish. The Shogun with some great fish, the Producer with some great fish. I don't even want to get into naming boats because a lot of guys are getting a chunk of this right now. That is all great stuff. So we'll continue to watch that bluefin tuna bite for you very, very closely. Don't forget, if you have tax situations, whatever those are, unfiled taxes or anything like that, you want to call our good friend Tim Marquez. Tim will take care of everything for you. He's been doing this for 35 years. He's a great friend of the Friedman Adventures family, and I know he will take great care of you if you have heating and or air conditioning needs. You want to go to John Lopez at Efficient Heating and Air Conditioning. John, another great guy. All the people that advertise on this channel are going to be trustworthy, and they're going to treat you really, really good. We don't put them on here. That includes sport boats, we do not put sport boats on here advertising that we don't firmly believe in 100%. So those are a couple guys you can take to the bank. Coronado Islands, we continue to see a good amount of nice big yellowtail there, but some days they bite, and it's really been a while since we've seen a really good hit. And I want to define a good hit as maybe double digits, maybe 20 fish, something like that. But we continue to pick at them. San Diego had 2 yellowtail yesterday. Most of them are good grade, like 18 to 20 plus pounds. They bite the surface iron, they bite the yo-yo iron, and there seems to be fish around. And we continue to see a flow upward from the Baja coast up to this neck of the woods of the yellowtail, but no big hits here recently. We backed that up at the Coronado Islands with some good rock fishing, so you're able to really catch some nice rockfish, and there's nothing wrong with that. So again, hopefully we'll see some more forky move in there, and maybe one of these days a wide open barracuda bite, because it's getting to be that time with the solar warming. The water is taking a little while. Wow, excuse me, there is some pelicans hitting the water big time. I should show you that, actually. It's insane. Anyway, they're feeding on some bait here, so that's good news. A lot of bait around, and hopefully we're going to see that Coronado Island yellowtail bite or a barracuda bite start to show up in bigger numbers as we move into springtime here. Seems like our water is cool. You know, we've kind of had this mix in terms of conditions. We had the effects of an El Nino, warm water kind of situation, and now we are trending toward cold water and a La Nina that's going to dominate the summer, which is colder water. So it's kind of, we're in a state of flux. I think the ship doesn't know exactly what direction it's headed in right now in terms of water temperature conditions, and of course what species will inhabit those conditions. So it's going to be an enigmatic year, that is for sure, and we'll be continuing to watch it for you very, very closely as we get you up. And we'll talk a little bit more about islands. The Apollo, I told you, man, they got brand new engines on that rig out of 22nd Street Landing. She's gorgeous. They put so much hard work into the Apollo this year. Jeff Jessup and so many others that contributed to working day and night. Lori Mueller. Lori working her fingers to the bone. I see her down there at 22nd Street moving dock carts around. It's really, really great stuff. So anyway, the Apollo's beautiful. She's got brand new engines, brand new engine room. She's gorgeous at San Clemente Island with our friend Jeff Yeomans from the 540 Slingers Club. Jeff, way to go. Nice forky there. That halibut, and has show on the yellows, as you can see. Got some calico bass, like what they're seeing in terms of conditions there. The Apollo, 22nd Street Landing, available for some great trips. We have 4 spots left on a reverse 2.5-day trip on that gorgeous rig, and we're limited to 20 anglers, and it is going June 11th through the 13th. We leave at 10 a.m., which means we can virtually fish anywhere at all. Whether it's that bluefin down there in Baja, whether that bluefin moves up here, gets out on the bank, or whether we have to go to the Channel Islands and conk on white sea bass, we can do it on that great trip. Once again, it's leaving June the 11th, fishing through the 13th, 10 a.m. departure, only 4 spots left. You want to grab one of those? All you have to do is send me a text. I'll send you the info. 657-227-6459. Get on the Apollo. If not with us, get on that rig when you can. It should be fantastic. Amigos, man, at San Clemente Island, seeing a few yellows here and there. No big hits. I think the best hit so far this year was on the Freedom with 10 yellows. Fury's been looking at it. Catalina Island, we've got, of course, and I'm going to get into our rockfish bite separately. The Pursuit out of 22nd Street, picking a few surface fish here and there that catch some rockfish. So you're going home with some good eating fish. There's bonita, there's a little bit of calico bass, barracuda, hopefully a sea bass and halibut bite on the horizon. Pursuit, as always, working really, really hard there out of 22nd Street Landing, and not only hitting the rockfish, but also giving a hard look to the surface bite and trying to get that to happen there in that neck of the woods. Up there in the Channel Islands, we haven't seen a big halibut or sea bass score, but you know that's on the horizon and should be happening here very, very soon. Hopefully, we're going to see that manifest itself here today or one of these days very, very soon. The halibut and sea bass up there in that neck of the woods just seem to be a powder keg waiting to explode, and I'm hoping it won't be all that much longer. Hey, you know how hard it is to get on the Endeavor out of Ventura sport fishing? I mean, it is really hard because Tucker McCombs does such a great job, and he's chartered all the time. There is a 2-day trip leaving May 20th, fishing through the 22nd, and they've got a few spots available. You can call the charter master, John, at 707-986-9708. And this is your chance to get on the Endeavor up there in the Channel Islands. Don't forget about the Island Spirit and the Californian, the 2 local boats out of Ventura Sport Fishing. Great rock fishing on both boats right now. They'll transition into a surface bite here very, very soon. But right now, the rockfish bite is excellent. You can fish free if you're a kid 12 years and under with a paid adult on Sundays, every Sunday on board the Island Spirit throughout the year. And for the month of May, a full fare. You buy a full fare, your buddy goes for half price Monday through Friday, both on the Island Spirit and the Californian. 805-676-3474. Excellent rock fishing up and down the coast from the border, below the border, down there in Ensenada, all the way up to the Channel Islands. I'm not even going to name the boats that have been taking advantage of the rockfish bite, but I've got to tell you, what an extraordinary trip we had yesterday on the El Patron. I mean, I felt like we were fishing Cherry Bank, Tanner Bank, Boccaccio. You couldn't believe this size. Big reds, giant lings. The quality was extraordinary. And the people on board this Friedman Adventures trip, they were fantastic. Once again, I got to thank you for being there. We all had a great day. It was so much fun to see so many dear friends and make many more dear friends. That was a trip I'll never ever forget. From Scott Buchert in the galley to Chris up in the wheelhouse to Sean on deck and all you folks, what a magnificent trip. And I know, you're thinking to yourself, maybe if you weren't there, come on, dude, it was a rockfish trip. Calm down, How exciting can a rockfish trip be? I don't know how to explain it to you. It was fun. It was exciting. It was a very special day. I guess I would explain it by telling you it was the people who showed up and made it so special. I can't thank you enough. We have 2 more trips in May that I think were sold out on our May 23rd. We might have a couple of openings, and then up there May 31st on board the Island Spirit. May have a little room on that. If you want info on that, the Apollo trip or any of our charters, 657-227-6459 if you want to grab one of those final spots. That was a truly fantastic day, no question about that. All right, don't forget, if you want to get your Friedman Adventures merchandise, the merch, all you got to do is go to www.embroiderycreations.net and you can make that happen for you. And don't forget, if you want to get on the El Patron, and man, what a nice ride she is. What a great crew. What a lot of fun. They are doing some overnight trips now. They also have some 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. trips going on. www.longbeachsportfishing.org. And you can get on the El Patron. I highly recommend you do that. All right, taking a look now at the surf fishing. A lot of grass here, a lot of salad. That would maybe make that a little bit difficult, but there's been some good halibut fishing, some good barred perch fishing, a little bit of yellowfin croaker. It's been pretty good. Get some bait down there at Big Fish Bait and Tackle in the beautiful city of Seal Beach, California. They've got all the bait you need, all the tackle you'll need. They are really great down there at Big Fish Bait and Tackle in the beautiful city of Seal Beach, California, down there on the corner of Seal Beach Boulevard and PCH. And just to the south of there, and even to the north of there, there's a myriad of great, beautiful surf fishing venues. We've given this a look here recently and didn't catch anything. And I fished with guys who had a bunch of sand crabs and a lot and didn't do much. But further down toward Huntington Beach, we've seen some really good fishing down there. Kayla Lou is a good friend of mine, and she has been doing very, very well. And other guys have been doing good also. The Redondo Beach Rod and Gun Club have announced their new surf fishing derby coming up. There's a whole bunch of paperwork you can go through, and there it is. I mean, I love the guys over there. Chuck Zimmer, the president of the Redondo Beach Rod and Gun Club. They're going to put on one heck of a derby. It's going to be May 25th and it's going to run for 1 week. So that should be a lot of fun. Highly recommend you get in on that. They've got great prizes. They're going to have a banquet at the end of it that I hope to attend. It should be great. Redondo Beach Rod and Gun Club. They do a lot of great work in the community, and they are just a really family-oriented, great organization. Chuck and all you guys who I am so fortunate to bump into every once in a while, and I can call you my friends now. I can't wait for this great derby. It should be a lot of fun. All right, what can I tell you? A lot going on. We've got bluefin tuna. We are hoping for some barracuda. We're hoping for some more fishies. We're hoping that you can buy some merch today to support the channel. And I'm hoping that I get to see you really, really soon. Have a great day and a wonderful weekend, my friends.